This is crazy, people. Luke to Infinity was right. Yet again. This time it was a prediction that I made almost 4 months ago. And one of my fans of the show actually pointed this out to me in an email. And there's been a lot of other emails that we're going to go over. And one of them is a very interesting email about, involves restaurant ranch dressing. And we're going to be going over that. But it's just unbelievable. And wait till you hear my prediction. Okay, we're going to go over that. And we're also going to go over a statement made by a caller back in episode 4 about how Joe Biden is a puppet of the far left. We'll analyze how this is actually a plot by Biden's own party to have him removed. They have to make him look bad first, and they already are starting to do that. Also, please join the movement to boycott the Coca Cola company. We'll talk about that too. If you like what you're listening to, please like and subscribe to the channel, and join me as we get closer to infinity. Good day, everyone. Welcome to Luke to Infinity. I am your host, Luke, and joining me is everyone's favorite sound guy from the Luke and Me show, Harry. We're going to get right into all of these topics, but first, I would like everyone to please rise for the pledge to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, one nation, indivisible, under God, for real.
One nation, indivisible, under God, for real. For real, people. For real. Get it already. For real. Thank you, President Biden, for leading us again in the pledge. We're going to start off the show today with a prediction that I made almost 4 months ago. Now, before I play the clip, let me just go over what this is about. Last episode, I played a clip in the What Did Joe Say segment, and it was Joe Biden during the CNN town hall last week saying that when he took office, there were no COVID vaccinations available. Now, the media, they just wrote this off as, well, Joe Biden just misspoke. The thing is, the sad thing is that people, actual American voters, believe, 100% believe what Joe Biden said. They believe that there were no vaccines when Biden took office and that the vaccine was created under Biden's watch. Even though Biden got vaccinated on live national television back in December. I talked about this last episode. The media, is letting these uninformed people believe in a flat-out lie and letting Biden take full credit for the vaccine. I forgot that I actually predicted this almost 4 months ago, and I got an email from a fan saying, Luke, you were right again. You predicted this 4 months ago back in episode 3. Okay. So I was curious, and I went back and I listened to episode 3. And here is what I said about 4 months ago in episode 3. Take a listen to this. But I guarantee you, the media is going to say, yep, here's the vaccine, Biden did it, look at all these dead people, and look at all these cases because of Trump, on what he left Biden, and now Biden's the savior. Now he's saving everybody's life. That's what's going to happen, everybody. I'm telling you right now, it's what's going to happen. I'm telling you. I knew this was going to happen, people. I knew this was going to happen almost 4 months ago. I am not a rocket scientist, and I certainly cannot see or predict the future. I just use simple logic and analyze the media. It's easy to predict what they are going to do and say. But this is just really sad. People are believing this lie, and the media just wrote it off as, oh, Biden misspoke. Some media outlets aren't even writing it off. Some are just saying, yeah, Biden was right. This is just flat out wrong. Biden was fully vaccinated with both doses of the vaccine before his inauguration. on live TV, mind you. How people are believing this is beyond me. I just don't get it. The only thing that I gather from this is that this is all part of the media and the radical left's plan to get rid of Biden. Now, this brings me to a statement that a caller made back in episode 4. Take a listen to what this caller said back then. Here it is.
He'll be the hero on the puppet string.
On the puppet string?
Yes.
So you think he's being controlled?
Yes. There's no doubt about it that he is being controlled.
That's a very interesting take there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think anybody in their right mind knows that he's being controlled. He can't even say one sentence without George, little George. No, he's being controlled, and it's pretty obvious.
So it's starting, people. It's starting to become more obvious that Joe Biden is a puppet of the media and the radical left. They are just hungry sharks circling and waiting for the opportune time to strike. They have to be careful as to how and when they strike. They can't strike too soon, or else people will be suspicious, but they don't want to wait too long either because they just can't wait to seize power. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or the gift of foresight to see this coming. It's obvious that the ball has started to roll, and the bus is on its way for Biden to be thrown under. Okay, let me explain my thoughts on this, and maybe I can enlighten some of you as to what I'm talking about. First off, people did not vote for Joe Biden based on his policies. They voted for Joe Biden for 2 reasons. 1, they hated Trump. And 2, they thought that Joe Biden would handle COVID-19 better, save the world, and return us to normal. After all, Biden ran solely on handling COVID-19 better than Trump. However, though, now, if you watch the news media, they constantly interview Dr. Moron Fauci, and every time he speaks, the only thing he says is that COVID-19 is getting worse, and the day we return to normal keeps getting pushed further and further away. During the CNN town hall last week, Biden himself said that he's hoping, God willing, that's what he said, that we are going to have some normalcy by Christmas time, 2021 Christmas time. I played this clip last episode, him saying that. I feel, though, that it should be much sooner than that. And I'm going to go over an article, it was an opinion article in the Wall Street Journal later, that I completely agree with. But you have Dr. Moron Fauci on the news, and he says that it will be into 2022 that we can only begin to talk about returning to normal. If Biden says one thing, and then the very next day or 2 days later, Fauci comes on and says something completely different, why would Fauci do that? Why would he completely contradict what Biden just said at the town hall? These guys clearly are not on the same page, and it's confusing the public. But there's a reason for this contradiction, people. Fauci, the media, and the radical left are doing it on purpose, and it's starting to make Biden look bad. If Biden was smart, right. But if he was smart, he should question this continuing trend of pushing back the day of returning normal. Because, like I said, that is why he was elected. People thought he could bring us to normal soon. The longer the media and Dr. Moron Fauci continue to delay the day we return to normal, the more they are making Biden look bad. They are using Biden as a placeholder, and he's just too stupid to realize this. The United States has no leadership right now. None. But Dr. Moron, the media, and the radical left, they are taking control, or they might already be in control, and they're just waiting for the right time to oust Biden. Like I said in the opening of this episode, everybody, the media and the radical left have to make Biden look bad first. Then they can just pick their moment and remove him from office. And with Biden saying he hopes to return to normal by Christmas, and then Fauci and the media say otherwise, this indicates it's just the start of them making Biden look and sound dumb and bad. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm defending Biden at all. I don't agree with anything he stands for, and I didn't vote for him. But he's just a pawn in a chess match, and the radical left can't wait to boot him out. It's only a matter of time. So we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to go into this opinion article from the Wall Street Journal. Now, the title of this article is "We'll Have Herd Immunity by April. COVID cases have dropped 77% in 6 weeks. Experts should level with the public about the good news." It goes on to say that, cases are down 77%, not because of the medication that was released, but largely in part of natural immunity. It says that testing has been capturing only 10 to 25% of infections, which makes sense because in a family of 4, if one person gets it, they're going to be the only person that goes and gets tested. Because if they test positive, and it goes through the rest of the family of 4, 1 out of 4, it's 25%. So there you go. That's on the high end of it. Now, you add people getting vaccinated. So at the time this article was released, 15% of Americans have received the vaccine, and that figure is rising fast. The guy who wrote this article, his name is Dr. Macare, but he's a professor at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and Bloomberg School of Public Health, and he's also chief medical advisor to Sesame Care. So this guy goes on to say that there is reason to think the country is racing toward an extremely low level of infection as more people have been infected, most of whom have mild or no symptoms. There are fewer Americans left to be infected. At the current trajectory, this guy expects COVID will be mostly gone by April, allowing Americans to resume normal life. Now, I don't know about you, but normal life to me does not include wearing a freaking mask. He goes on to say that about 1 in 600 Americans has died of COVID-19, which translates to a population fatality rate of about 0.15%, and the COVID-19 infection fatality rate is about 0.23%. He says these numbers indicate that roughly 2/3 of the U.S. population has had the infection. Now, on Worldometers, it's a website that's been keeping track of every number for COVID-19 infection, death, whatever you name it. They've been keeping track of it since the start. But as of right now, total cases in the United States is 28,873,403. That is definitely not 2/3 of the American population. 2/3 of the American population is about 220 million people, roughly. So if 220 million people in the United States have already gotten this virus, we're well into herd immunity by then. So I completely agree with what this doctor is saying, and he put it in the Wall Street Journal, and they posted it. But I guess somehow Dr. Moron Fauci's opinion is the only one that matters. Yeah, right, people. Come on, let's start opening our eyes about this. I'm done with COVID-19 though. I'm done with it. Okay, chances are, if there's been that many people, 220 million people in the United States, about 2/3 of the population, if there's been that many people that have gotten it, then chances are I probably have already gotten it and didn't know it. So there you have it. And you, yourself, if you haven't gotten it by now, you probably actually have already gotten it, but you didn't know it. That's the chances. That's what you have right now. Those are the numbers, and you can't refute the numbers. And there's many other experts, not just this doctor guy, but there's other epidemiologists and scientists and medical experts that agree with what this guy says. I was watching Fox News the other day, and they had two professors, epidemiologists, and they were interviewing them, and this one professor was from Harvard University, and the other one was from Scranton University, and they both said the exact same thing. They echoed what this article in the Wall Street Journal said. So there's just so many people out there, so many more people, more experts, more scientists, more epidemiologists, more medical experts out there that are refuting and disagreeing and contradicting what Dr. Moron Fauci's saying, but yet Dr. Moron Fauci, his opinion is the only one that matters. I just don't understand it. Moving on, though, all right? The Coca Cola company is taking some heavy flack. The company held an anti-racism training seminar that was teaching people how to be less white. Sounds kind of racist if you ask me. Imagine the outrage if the Coca Cola company did an employee training seminar and told people to be less Asian, or told people to be less black, or told people to be less Hispanic or Latino. If they did that, the company would cease to exist in a matter of minutes. Pictures of these slides from this training seminar are all over social media, and I'm going to put them on here so you can read these slides. So here they are. So in the upper left there, you can see the one slide that says confronting racism, understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. In the upper right there, you have, it says, to be less white is to be less oppressive, be less arrogant, be less certain, be less defensive, be less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, break with apathy, break with white solidarity. Oh, you gotta believe. In the lower left, there's a slide that says, in the U.S. and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white. Research shows that by age 3 to 4, children understand that it is better to be white. My goodness, this is nuts. And then the last slide there in the bottom right, it says, try to be less white. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts, Coca-Cola. What the heck are you doing? Some people are threatening a complete boycott of Coca-Cola. The company made a statement. This is a great statement. Here's what it said. And I'm going to put this up too. Here it is. The video circulating on social media is from a publicly available LinkedIn learning series and is not a focus of our company's curriculum. Our Better Together global learning curriculum is part of a learning plan to help build an inclusive workplace. It is comprised of a number of short vignettes, each a few minutes long. The training includes access to LinkedIn Learning on a variety of topics, including on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We will continue to refine this curriculum. What kind of a statement is that, Coca-Cola? So, they basically said that the video is from a publicly available LinkedIn Learning series and is not a focus of the company's curriculum. So why the heck did they show it then? They go on to say that they're all about building an inclusive workplace. Does that include white people? Because these slides sure don't sound like they do. Then they end by saying, we will continue to refine this curriculum. Well, here's a start. Get rid of it! That curriculum that you idiots just showed at that training seminar is racist. Get rid of it. There's how you can refine it. Get rid of it. So I'm here to announce today that Luke to Infinity will be boycotting Coca Cola until they denounce this training program and issue a formal apology for this racist display. I encourage everyone, especially my 6 loyal listeners, to drink something else and boycott Coca Cola with me. Join the boycott. Wow. To wrap up this show, though, maybe on a little bit more of a positive note, I got an interesting email, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Interesting email from a random fan. And they were talking about this random topic. I have no idea where it came from. But restaurant ranch dressing. And Harry, we're going to see if we can get this caller on the phone, like this viewer on the phone. We got to get them to call in so we can interview them, or maybe even have them on the show. But this is a hilarious email, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because I just don't have time to. I'm getting ready to wrap up the show. But they just say that, how come ranch dressing at restaurants tastes so much better than what you buy in a store? And they go on this long rant about how ranch dressing, when they buy it out of the store and they bring it home, they just want to eat a salad and they want to put ranch dressing on the salad, but they want to be able to eat the salad without vomiting. This email is just hilarious, and I hope one day that we can get this viewer to call in or to appear on the show as a special guest. It's hilarious. It really is. Anyway, those are my papers. Anyway, I went over a lot of interesting information there, so I'm just gonna wrap up the show. Join us next time on Luke to Infinity as we dive deeper and deeper into infinity.